Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Books Club to celebrate 2,000 subscribers, and a request that was also in the notes. We're going to be doing a basic MiSTer FPGA tutorial videos. This is a working MiSTer FPGA that we're going to show you in a moment's time, and we're going to show you how we install a new SD card on here, we build the SD card, and we get it up and running. And if you hang around to the end as well, we're going to take this apart very briefly because it's already assembled, and just point out a few things that you might want to be aware of. Welcome to a slightly different view to what you normally see when we do these kind of videos. There's a lot to show on the screen, so the link to this page here that you can see basically up here that we're going to scroll up and down is going to be in the video description below, so you can read that at your own leisure. I get a lot of you may have built MiSTer FPGAs, but some of you may not, so I'm trying to basically do a quick tutorial video, a quick guide to walk you through. Mr. Stephen Elliott, you asked for this as well, so you know, why not give something back to the viewership of this channel? And this is a very easy tutorial video. You need a few things up front. You obviously need your built MiSTer FPGA. I've shown you a built MiSTer FPGA at the beginning of this video. On top of that, for the stage where we are at the moment, you need a keyboard connected, you need a joystick connected. Keyboard can basically be a wireless one. I'm using this is a Logitech wireless keyboard here. Joystick, I'm using a wired USB joystick, and I can move that around, which I'm going to do now, and you can see the screen burst into life. And you also need an SD card. You know, everything on the MiSTer FPGA will run off the SD card, at least on the initial build that you're doing. And for an SD card, I have to use this adapter as well to go into the PC. Our MiSTer FPGA has already got a build in it. We're going to take that card out and we're going to rebuild it fresh. But this is showing you, this screen here is showing you that it actually works and does what it wants. You know, the keyboard can move up and down. We can go up and down. You can see on the top of the screen, we've got an internet connection by the icon on the left. The icon on the right shows that we've got a memory upgrade. Remember, when you build your MiSTer FPGA with your memory upgrade that you've got, it has wording on the memory saying this side faces outwards. Always ensure you do that correctly. You do not want to blow your memory. You know, depending on what version of MiSTer FPGA you've got, whether you've got the DE10 or whatever you maybe have, it's regardless of the cost. These things cost money, so don't blow your money doing this. The instructions that we've got here, we're going to work through. I appreciate it may be a little bit small, but you know, I'm going to take you through everything that you see over here. This is the workspace where I'm going to show you a little bit of our desktop when we get to that particular point, because you know what, it's important to show you what we're doing in a big screen so you can easily follow on. Alright, so we're going to leave effectively the SD card in that MiSTer FPGA for the moment, and we are going to build this SD card here. So following the instructions, when you go to the requirements, it wants you to set up the micro SD card, so we're going to go to here, and it basically gives you a couple of things that you need to download here when you read this. So what we're going to do is it wants us to use balenaEtcher for this guide, so this is available in the link that you have here that I've just highlighted, and it will take you to this page where you can download this. I've downloaded it already and installed it on the PC, and it creates an icon on your desktop like you can see here. So that's the icon that we're actually going to be using to do this. It also, from this page, wants you to download the latest release of MiSTer Fusion. So MiSTer Fusion is the MiSTer FPGA image, and I've got version 2.10 here already downloaded. We're going to be using this one, and you basically download this image file here. This is the May the 14th one that we're going to be doing. So everything should be relatively easy. So what it's asking us to do is it wants us to insert the micro SD card into our computer. With this setup here, we're going to do this and lean over and just pop it in. We may get a couple of pop-ups, you know, saying that things are inaccessible and stuff like that. So I'm just going to say, okay, you saw it on the left hand side of the window. This is because it's got an image of something on it that it doesn't know what it is, but we have to flash. We've got to flash that, so we're flashing that from the image that we downloaded. So we're going to fire up the tool that I just showed you the icon for, and we're going to select flash from file, and we're going to browse to where we get the file, and that's MiSTer Fusion there, and we're going to do open there, and then we're going to select target. Hopefully on this target list we will have that micro SD card. And let's have a look, Yes, we've got it here, generic storage. Be very careful when you pick your drives. You want to pick the right drive, otherwise you could be in a world of pain. And we just do select here, and then we do flash, and then we have to wait. I've got a little pop-up saying, do you want it to make changes to the computer? I just say yes to that, and here we go, here we go. Is it doing it? It says it's starting there. I've not done this using this tool before, so we're going to do a little bit of waiting here. Do we need to do any more? Yes, there you go, there you go. It's working. It's absolutely working. We're doing this live for the first time. I've not used this tool before, but theoretically follow the instructions that are on the MiSTer FPGA Development Hub on the GitHub in the link in the video description below. You can follow this yourself, but we are just doing it live. We're absolutely doing it live. So there we go, it says finishing at the moment. I've got a couple of virus pop-ups on the right hand side detecting new drives. I'm just closing them down, and I've got a window that I can't drag and show you, but it's on the bottom right hand side of the screen that says flash is complete. So if we close this down, we are then going to open up our computer, and bear with me so I can show you correctly. We will then hopefully have, or we won't have we got it? No, it's not there. It doesn't matter, it's not there. It's a Linux partition, so don't expect to see that to pop up on your Windows drive. As I say, we're doing this live for the moment. We're doing this live. So what the next step is to take this drive, and we are going to put this into our MiSTer FPGA. So this is going to go in right now, and you are concerned with bubble and what you can see going on the screen. I will be right back. So we have got power applied. It is booting up, and you can see, hopefully, something happens. So MiSTer Fusion is installed in MiSTer FPGA. Please stand by. So it says this should take no more than 2 minutes, and the system will automatically restart when done. So we're just going to take a gentle pause here for this to happen. After the MiSTer FPGA has rebooted, you have this screen here where you've got no files. If you hit escape on your keyboard, this brings up one of the menus where you can go into the scripts. Our joystick is working here at the moment. We can do up and down, as I say, because we're USB connected. We don't have to do anything with that. We're going to hit return on scripts, and you get this. This is a dangerous operation. Script has control over the whole system and may damage the file or settings. Now, you've got no yes and don't ask again. You're going to be using this in the life of your MiSTer FPGA, so you may as well do yes and don't ask again. And then we have update. So we're going to go to update, and we're going to hit return on this, and it is running a MiSTer FPGA downloader that you can see on the screen here, and we're going to allow this to do its work. This is going to install a whole load of bits and pieces for us, so we're just going to let this run, and I will be right back when this is done. And here we are back in the room. That whole process took about 5 minutes, and it's about to do a reboot. It wants us to press any key to continue. You don't need to do that, and it does a reboot, and our MiSTer FPGA is going through a reboot cycle. And now that you can see, we've got a few other bits and pieces, so we could use the joystick to move around, but I'm going to use the keyboard, I think, for this case. And we're going to go down, and we are going to pick effectively a computer. So we'll pick a Sinclair Spectrum. Where is it? There it is, ZX Spectrum. Hit return on that, and in a moment's time, there is our Sinclair Spectrum. We can probably actually, what buttons do we need? What buttons do we need? I haven't set up the joystick. Damn it. So that was a mistake. On actually doing that straight away, but that's okay. We're just going to do a reset of the MiSTer FPGA. So that was a simple button that you push on top. So let it reboot, and then we're going to do escape. Come on. There we go. We're going to do escape, and we're going to define the joystick button. So we're going to hit return on that, and basically do right, down. Don't want the spat. We don't want the stick. We haven't got the sticks there. And we go right, left, down, up. Just follow this with the buttons that you have. It's quite easy. Don't want that one. Don't want that one. Don't want that one. And we'll do select, start. And I'm just moving all the way through these because I want the menu button. And then we've got the menu button, and that's okay there. That's okay there. So yeah, these are just a few buttons that we've done. So effectively now, if I hit escape to go back, and I go back into computer, and we go to Spectrum. Where's Spectrum? There it is, there it is. We've gone back into the Spectrum. Because I hit a menu button, defined a menu button on the MiSTer, I can now push that, go into the menu, and do whatever I want to be doing from the menu. So let's just go, let's just do a reboot. Let's do a reboot. We want to do a reboot here, I think, because we're then going to go and have a look at some scripts. So we're going to hit escape on the keyboard, go up to the scripts. You can do this when you've got your joystick fully set up and everything else like that. And then we're going to hit return on update, and notice there's a lot more scripts that you've got in here than what you had before, but we're going to do return on the update. So see whether there's anything new to add to this. No, and that shows that is complete. Now there's one more thing we want to be adding to this. We want to be adding effectively an update all to our MiSTer FPGA. So our IP address is 192.168.0.134. You need to get yourself a FTP client, any FTP client. I've got one that I've paid for that I've used elsewhere, but any FTP client, and we need to copy a file to the MiSTer FPGA that's going to make your life much easier. This is the update all script. So you've just done an update on the MiSTer FPGA, but you now need to do an update all. So basically what you do is you go to this URL that is in the video description below for the update all script, and you need to download this. And the way you do it is you've got a download icon, a couple of icons to the right of where it says raw. You click on that and that will download the update all.sh file. This needs to go in your scripts directory, and in order to do this you need the IP address of your MiSTer FPGA. In the case of mine, if I get some keyboard work guide here, it's 0.134, so that is where I need to FTP to, and using an FTP client, this is the settings that you use. So I'm basically FTPing to 192.168.0.134, which is the IP address of my MiSTer FPGA. The username is root, it will always be root, and the password, although you're seeing a dot there, the password is the number 1. It is masking what that is. And with that set, you then go into the MiSTer FPGA and you navigate to this directory here, which is media fat scripts. You may need to click on a couple of icons to move to the top directory, the top root directory that you've got, but you need to go to media fat scripts. And as you can see in here, we have got update all.sh. So now back on the MiSTer, we are, and that's the one that we've just downloaded that you've copied in using the FTP software. You can use whatever you want. I've used a paid for version of something that I've had from years ago. As I say, there's free clients around. That is what you need to get onto your device. So we go into scripts, and we go to scripts, and then we go down to update all, and this is going to look a little bit different. So it launches update all that we have, and we wait a little moment. It's getting a new file downloaded.ini with some bits and pieces that you've got here. Allow it to wait for what it wants to do. It's been a while since I've run this for the first time, and then we need to go into the settings for this. This adds Jatago cores and other bits, so we want to press up to enter the settings, and here we go. Main distributions are on. So this where you've got cores from MiSTer developers, that's on. Official cores is fine. We can go back there. JT cores we want on, and install premium cores. If you're a subscriber to his Patreon, you can get the premium cores. What you've got to do is in the main directory where the ROMs are copied, you basically have got to put a JT beta, I think the file is. Go to his Patreon, you can see all the details there, but you get things like Outrun and stuff like that without the premium cores anyway. You go back here, coin up collection, we can turn on, we can turn off, leave that on. This should be turned to off. There's nothing that you want for some of these bits and pieces, but there's a couple of useful things here. So this core here, add 23 MiSTer cores, I have that turned on because that gives you some new Game & Watch cores that work really, really well. Tools and scripts, you could turn these on and off what you want. So, but we're going to turn Arcade Organizer on, leave that on here, and we want, I think we want that as it is. So go back, and names, will turn that on as well. Yeah, might as well have that. Region US, EU, GP. So yeah, let's do that. So yeah, basically you adjust these settings as you want. But the key that you really want is, where is it? The Wizzo extensions. Turn the Wizzo extensions on. That will install Zapparoo. I've got a separate video on Zapparoo. But yeah, just work your way through this, doing what you want. But you know, your real one is ensure that your arcade organizer is on. It looks nicer. Wizzo extensions are on. Anything else you could choose to do if you want to do. JT cores, make sure that is turned on, and all the other bits and pieces is fine. So if you then just do save, that saves it to an INI file. We say yes to that and exit and run, update all. Now this is going to install all the main ROMs for you. This is going to do all the hard work, all the hard lifting, and we will be pretty much ready to go when it's done this. So yeah, it took a few minutes to do the first update. This will probably do a little more, purely for the fact is it's got the main ROMs, and there's a lot of ROMs for it to download, but we will allow it to do its stuff. And you know, we'll just take a note of the time right now, and I'll tell you roughly how long this took by the time it's done. 4 or 5 minutes have passed since we run that script, and it looks like we might be done. That actually happened a little quicker than what I expected. So let's press the key, We might have a bit of challenges here. We might have something we need to fix. So reboot in now. But as I say, I was generally surprised about that. You know, the main ROMs, you know, I didn't notice it install, so I don't think we've got the main ROMs. Let's have a look. Let's go to arcade and let's pick you. Yeah, we haven't got the main ROMs, so we need to get those installed. We need to do a little bit of troubleshooting to see where that error is. So we're just going to do a little reboot of the MiSTer, and it will come back in a moment's time. And we're going to go and have a look at this script. I might have missed something here. So if we go for update all, yes, and then we're going to go into the settings, up to enter the settings, and there we go. Extra content, ROMs, BIOS and wallpaper. So we want to put the BIOSes on and say yes to that. I missed that. I can't believe I missed that. Arcade ROMs database. We'll put that on there and do yes for that as well. And go back. Ignore the wallpapers. Boot ROMs. Yeah, let's put those on. And what else have we got? If we do back here. ROMs BIOS, that might be what we missed. I'm surprised. Let's look at system options as well. Now we go back there and we do save, yes, and we do exit and run update all. As I say, that might have been a mistake on my behalf not doing that. I want to see some main ROMs added. Okay, these are BIOSes that we could see going in at the moment. Great. That's one step in the right direction at least. But I'm allowing you also to see this mistake live here, because me doing these mistakes stops you from doing these mistakes. And this is just a once in for me. I haven't done this for such a long time. I truly haven't. So, you know, mistakes will happen. All right, yep, this is it. The ROMs are going in now as well. This will probably take a long time. I've got vague memories in the back of my mind of when I did the Street Fighter ones. It took a hell of a long time for that to happen. But no, we'll just let that time out. And I'll give you an idea of how long this took by the time we get to the end. Obviously, this video is going to be shortened in length, as we've done already on bits and pieces. But yeah, I'll tell you how long it took when we've got all of these in there and we can demonstrate a game. Well, I've got to say, we're back in the room. I can't remember the start time, but this has gone a lot quicker than what I remember it in the past. You know, I'm actually stunned how quick this has actually gone through here with these main ROMs. So, you know, I thought I was going to be here for a long time, but no, absolutely not. I think it's probably been about 10 minutes. You know, I just clicked back into this and had a look, and it was, oh, holy hell, it is nearly done. So there we go. That might even be the last main game that we've got. You know, ZZY, ZZYXX, what on earth? would that game be? I don't know, but you know, we're nearly there. We're nearly there for this part of the video here. And what we're going to do is, when we've got this up and running, you know, we're going to jump into a game to basically show it working, show that it's there. So here we go, done. Everything's done. Alright, so it's doing a little bit more work here, but yeah, we are almost there. It's within touching distance of being ready to play arcade games. It's doing an incremental build at the moment, as you can see on the top of the screen, and finished the arcade organizer, doing a Linux update, and nothing there, because remember, we have just done a fresh install as well. And any key to exit, so we're going to push a key to exit here and go back to the MiSTer FPGA. So if we hit, I don't know, escape there, we'll go to arcade and we will bring up 1942, and that's it loading in. So when you want to see your setup, go hit the menu key that you defined on the joystick, basically go to define buttons and you hit fire in there, and it wants you to hit right, left, up, down, and all the other bits and pieces. So they go right, left, down, up, shoot, roll, start, coin. Don't want core credits, so we can just push space there. And do we want to save the alternative buttons? Say no to that, I guess. And then what I always do after I've done that is you go down and you do save settings, hit escape. We could put a coin in and we can play the game. And this is us playing the game. You know, I'm obviously not going to be very good at it because I'm just moving it around like this. And yeah, perfect. We can hit the menu button to bring this back up, and you know, we can bring up another core by going into there, and we'll find outrun. Come on, where are we? Let's do outrun. JKLMNO. Missed you. And we can do outrun. So let's bring that up, and that will outrun. You know, once in a while you get squiggly screens like that, squiggly things on the lines, but there's outrun. You set that up how you want to play that. We're going to go to the menu again, and we're going to go to core, and we'll go all the way to the top, drop back, go to computer, and we'll go and pick Sinclair Spectrum, and boom, it will be with us in the room. There you go. So that is basically the simple way to do this. Remember, you've already used FTP to move the the update all script across. So now you use that to basically put games in the games directory, and when you want to load a game, go to menu, and you've got all these options here. We're going to go into, say, tape, and you got nothing in there. But if we go back the directory, there's a games folder, and in that games folder, which is basically on your media drive, on your FAT32 drive, you've got all these folders there. We could drop back one again, and you can see here, that's where we put scripts. Well, everything else goes into games. That is it. I hope that's been useful. Obviously, this is the beginning of your MiSTer FPGA journey. We're going to take it apart in a moment, basically just sort of live on the bigger camera, just to point out a few things. But I hope this has been useful to you. So here we are near the end. This is my MiSTer FPGA that you've already seen demoed in the video. And notice I've taken the screws out. On the top of this case, you've got these 4 screws that go in here, and it's basically push fit together. You know, this plastic, this acrylic that you've got holds together really well. You've got 3 buttons there, which you can use to reset user menu and so on from the top there. And it all holds together rather nicely. This is going to sort of fall apart, and these buttons here are going to come out. So if we lift the top off there, we've got those 3 buttons, we take them out, and without them out, the buttons rest across those buttons that you've got there. You know, this is the sort of the multimedia type board, I believe, on top of the MiSTer FPGA, the one that allows you to have functions with fans and stuff like that. We can take the side panels off, which we're doing here, and we'll take those off. We'll leave the back one on because we've got this connector here that separates them. And looking at this, when you build it, if you are building this, you've got this little bridge board, and this bridge board goes from the USB ports that you've got at the bottom to the Nano D10 that you've basically got here. Be very careful when putting that in. It is a little bit delicate, so take care when you do this. On the memory, when you install the memory, this is your memory board that you've got here. Ensure that the text is facing outwards that you've got, and you can't go wrong. But above all, take your time. Slowly take your time when you build this, and it will work absolutely fine. I hope this video has been useful to each and every one of you that helped me get to 2,000 subs. I truly appreciate you. All of you stay safe. All of you take care. And I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Gentleman, P is for Pixel, C is for Club. At the Gentleman's Pixel Club, we play old school games, no need to rule. With sunglasses on, we dive into retro fun. Masters of nostalgia, our joy never gets undone. G is for Gentleman, P is for Pixel, C is for Club. The GPC brings us together every single video. Subscribe now and join the club, let's have some fun. Gentlemen of gaming, you know ladies, welcome to Pixelated Fun. Remember when we had Commodore and Atari too? Those were the days, we loved them like a brother and you. From Pac-Man to Space Invaders, we played all night long. Gentleman's Pixel Club reminds us of those times when life was just right. G is for Gentleman, P is for Pixel, C is for Club. The GPC brings us together every single video. Subscribe now and join the club, let's have some fun. Gentlemen of gaming and the ladies too, retro fun never done. Through the years, the games may change, but the spirit stays the same. Gentlemen's Pixel Club is where we gather our hearts in a gang. Sunglasses on, we're ready to play. Gentlemen's Pixel Club, the ultimate gaming channel, always in play. G is for Gentleman, P is for Pixel, C is for Club. The GPC brings us together every single video. Subscribe now and join the club, let's have some fun. And women and children of gaming, joystick fun are never done. G is for Gentleman, T is for Pixel, C is for Club. The GPC brings us together every single video. Subscribe